Hey folks, it's Jeff Walker. You probably know me through Product Launch Formula and also the Sims launch. I was a full partner with Greg Clement in Sims, and I'm pretty sure that that was the first multi-million-dollar launch in the real estate investing space. In fact, you've probably been getting some really large checks recently that Greg was sending out from that launch. And that's what I want to talk about, is how you can make a ton of money in an upcoming launch. We're talking about a high-ticket launch. It's going to be a really hot offer that it's going to convert, and we're going to be sending you a lot of money. We're going to send some big checks to you. Now, I'm sitting here with Doug Faith. I've gotten to know Doug over the last couple months, and Doug's got a launch coming up that I think is going to completely crush it. I've been involved in dozens and dozens of launches, and I've got a pretty good feel for what works and what doesn't. And here we've got a hot offer that's proven to convert. We've got tons of proof, and those are really the elements you need to have to do a launch. So first of all, we're sitting in my backyard. Doug took the entire day flying out, crossing the country, jumping on little turboprops to get to my home in Colorado, and just basically just to shoot this video for you guys, just to so you know what's going to be coming up. So first of all, thanks for coming along.
Thanks for having me.
And this launch is going to be. Tell them what the product is.
Yeah, so the product's called Positive Cash Flow with Student Housing, and it teaches investors how to invest near colleges and universities and rent out the properties for thousands of dollars a month in passive income to college students.
So every time I look at potential launch, I think about the offer. The offer is a really key thing, and I'm not that much of a real estate investor, but when I hear this, all kinds of alarm bells go off for me with student housing. Okay, it's like they're gonna. And so if the alarm bells are going off for me, I know they're going off in the prospect's mind. So the first thing I'm like, okay, do we have answers for these objections? And do we have proof? And so what are the big objections that people have?
Yeah. Well, definitely the biggest objection is when you think of student housing, aren't students going to damage and wreck my place, which is a valid objection. But that's not the case with my system. I mean, one, we've got a bulletproof lease, and two, the way we structure the lease is we have all the students and their parents sign on that same lease. So, depending on how many students you have living in your property, you may have anywhere from 6 to 8 people responsible for that $2,000 or $2,500 a month in rent. So, even with the economy, even with the recession, if anything were to happen, you've got enough people on the hook, you get paid.
And so, another objection I imagine would be not having the capital, the money. Mm-hmm. How does that?
Well, that's always right, the number one objection. So there's kind of two sides to that. There's one, you as the investor, what if you don't have the money? And actually, when I first started, I did not have a dime to my name. So the system shows you how you can do it without using any money. And even had a 23-year-old kid on his second deal was going to get $3,000 to $4,000 a month in passive income. So not only myself, but even my students are doing it, without any money. And obviously, a big topic today is financing, from banks. But the nice thing about student housing is that it's recession-proof. It makes money in up markets and in down markets. So banks are a lot more favorable lending on student housing as opposed to almost any other real estate investment out there.
And so I'm sure you picked up, there's a couple things in here. First of all, Doug has had great success on his own, and he's had great success teaching this. And so why don't you talk about that, about your success and your student success?
Sure. Well, I've been investing in the student housing niche for about 4 years, and I've been involved in it for a total of 6 years. And my portfolio is at $2.95 million, generates over $100,000 a year in passive income, and that's after all expenses. And then with my students, and that's really what I'm most passionate about, is the educational side of things, and that's why I'm excited about the opportunity to work with you guys. But I've been working with clients now for about 2 years, and the clients that I work with in my one-on-one coaching program, they have a 100% success rate. All of them complete one successful transaction. And then this program that we're talking about now, I actually launched back in March. I had no idea what I was doing. I hadn't met Jeff then, but the product was just so good it kind of sold itself. I had a list of only 1,000 people, and we did $55,000 on that first launch.
So that's $55 per name on his per email address, which is very, very good considering. I mean, I looked at what he did for his launch, and he didn't do a launch. He's like, he didn't buy my course, and he didn't do a real launch, and he's still able to pull $55 a name. I think if he really put the launch together, it probably would have been at least, in the $80 to $100 per name. So we've got an offer that converts. We've got all kinds of proof. We've got both Doug's proof that he did it himself, but also that he's taught students. And we've got a fantastic course. We're right now doing another internal launch just to his list, just so that we can get the whole process tested. And I want to say I am involved in this launch. I've been looking at every piece of the launch. I've been looking at the copy. I've been looking at the pre-launch content. It's great pre-launch content. But we're going through this internal launch right now just so we can have a tested process when we come out with the full joint venture launch. That means it's going to do that much better. So right now in this internal launch, the price is
$12.97.
$12.97. So the price is going to be at least $12.97. It might go higher. We might move that price up. We might make the offer that much better. But that means your commission is going to be
$6.48.
$6.48. So that means that on launch day, when you sit back, when you check your email that morning, you're going to see all these commission notices coming for $648. This isn't some continuity deal, some dollar offer where you're going to wait 3 months to make any commissions. This is high dollar commissions up front of at least $650. And if we make the offer that much better, maybe the price goes up and your commission goes up. So we would love to have you guys on board. We've got all kinds of great pre-launch content.
Yep.
Your people are going to love the pre-launch content. We're going to have a tested offer, and we're going to have something completely fresh, completely new.
Yep.
This isn't, just another tired old offer. This is the student housing niche. I don't think has really been hit with a major launch.
Right.
I mean, there's really not much in the way of competition out there.
There isn't. I mean, student housing is very niche, and just like you said, it's not very well known. So.
And another thing is you built up your portfolio of it's near $3 million.
Yep.
And that was built up when?
That was built up basically over the last 3-4 years, kind of right as the market was peaking, and as the market has, gone down. And actually, each year as the market's gone down, I've made more and more money each year.
Yeah. So we have a system that does well in the current environment. We have an offer that converts. We've got tons and tons of proof. We've got great pre-launch content. So I don't know what else. That, as you can see, I try to come off like I'm a rocket scientist when I say when I look at Jeff's really good. I can look at launches and tell you if it's going to work or not. Well, the reality is there's no way this one can miss. So we would love to have you on board. We're going to be sending you more information. I don't even know where to send you right now, what to tell you to do, because frankly, we're shooting this several months ahead of time because Doug's about to take off for 3 months to China and
Asia and Australia.
Yeah. With his girlfriend, and that's what you can do when you have the kind of portfolio Greg's got. And so, so there's one cut. God, sometimes I do that. Okay, so that's a solid cut. So we're actually shooting this video several months ahead of time because Doug's about to head off to all points. Asia, like China, Australia.
Yeah, Asia and Australia.
For 3 months with his girlfriend, just to have a good time, and I guess that's what you can do when you got, the portfolio you've got and the business you've got. So we're shooting this ahead of time, but he's going to be back at the controls, and we're going to be ready to rock in just a few weeks. So love to have you. So that's pretty much the story. We've got a great offer. It's going to convert. We're going to be sending out a lot of commissions. So. Basically at this point, go ahead, put your information. I don't know where it's going to be on this page, down below, off to the right, off to the left. I don't know. But go ahead, put your information in so we can get you in the system. We'll get you all hooked up and we know where to send those checks to.